Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm here with the starting prediction for the Watford game. Look, after the United game, we need to bounce back, don't we? We need to show everyone that attack can play. That defence has been doing okay in the past 3 games, but we need to start clicking up top, don't we? It's a massive game, must win really. We've lost our kind of lead in terms of keeping us ahead of City. Well, obviously we're still top of the league, but we just need to keep the pressure on, even though we are top, if that makes any sense. Man City are still favourites just because of how well they're playing and all that. But look, we're here to talk about Liverpool, not Man City. We are better than them. Let's get into the team. First on the team sheet, it always is. It is Alisson Becker. What just fantastic player. You saw that save that he pulls out the other day against Lingard, and those are massive defining moments maybe in the season. There's been so many this season where he has pulled out them saves. Napoli, to name one. I'd name more, but I can't remember them. We speak about it properly in depth on the Umbu and all that stuff. But look, 27 appearances, 15 goals conceded. I think in the Premier League, that is 5 less than Man City. So we've conceded the least in the Premier League, which is fantastic. I think I'm right in saying that. But look, these stats speak for themselves. It's that short pass per 90 as well. Really, really good to see that he's still keeping it that high. That is so hard to keep it at 98%, but he's doing it and he's fantastic. Moving on to right back. I think he comes back in. Obviously, look, James Milner did okay against United, but he's not Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's had 17 appearances and 1 substitute appearance in the Premier League with 3 assists there. And I feel like his crossing is just better than a lot of other people in the team. Obviously, his set pieces, he's a massive threat. Last time out against Watford, he actually scored a free kick, didn't he? So it'd be lovely to see him replicate that. But look, he's just great, averaging just under 5 crosses per 90. Only 29.1% of them are completed or are accurate, but it's still pretty good, you know what I mean? But look, fantastic player. I want to see him back in there fighting for the team because he is brilliant. Moving on to centre-back, and I think this man keeps his place. It is Joel Matip. If Lovren's fit, that's a talking point, and I'm really interested to know your thoughts. Would you play Lovren or Matip? Obviously, if Lovren is fit. I think Matip staked his claim for this team. I really feel like he stepped up when we've needed him to in the absence of Lovren and Gomez, and he's just been really good. I love the way he steps out of defence, strides forward with the ball and looks to do something. Probably the best attacking display against United, which tells you everything about the game, really, doesn't it? But I really thought that he put in a great performance, and he's been putting in great performances. And alongside him is Virgil van Dijk, who puts in a great performance every single time, doesn't he? And this man is, I say it every time that he's here, he's just brilliant. He's a Rolls-Royce defender. The amount of times I've said that about him, he's just calm, he's composed, he helps everyone along, and maybe Joel Matip's form has been a bit of that as well, in terms of just being able to strive forward because you know you've got Virgil van Dijk behind you. In terms of the fullbacks going up, and his positioning is fantastic. The only time I've seen him have a bad game is when he was sick. I think there was 2 games on the bounce where he wasn't himself, and everyone was wondering why, and then we found out that he was ill, and that's the reason why. And he's just Mr. Consistently consistent. That's stupid. Moving on anyway to the left back. Another one who is very consistent. He's had a few bad games maybe of late. He's coming up against very, very good players. The Bayern game, the United game. I want him to get back into pushing their fullbacks back, pushing their wingers back, getting up there and putting in the deliveries that we know we can put in, because when he does that, we usually score goals. You think about how many times since he's joined Liverpool that he's just put an inch-perfect ball onto Mo Salah's foot and we've scored from it. He's brilliant at doing that overlap and run, and against Bayern, he was kind of probably asked to kind of rein that in a little bit, and affected his game. I just want him to do that again. He's so good at it. We all know just how good he is. Anyway, moving on to the middle of the park. Fabinho keeps his place for me. He has been immense. We're talking about players who are first on the team sheet now. We have a clutch of like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 players who need to start. Alisson, Van Dijk. This man is one of them. He's he does that central defensive mid role better than anyone else does, and we're saying that when you've seen Gini Wijnaldum have some immense performances in that 6. Jordan Henderson's been great in that 6 many times for us. This man, it's the speed of thought. He gets the ball in the middle of the park and it's quick. He's spraying it round. He's got the ball over the top. He's also a destroyer in the middle of the park. This man, he's going to be something else. He already is something else, but in terms of moving forward with this Liverpool team, imagine him in the next 2-3 years, what he could do with this team, maybe with a few other additions around him in there when Keita starts hitting his form properly as well. Moving on, alongside him, this is a contentious one. I think Jordan Henderson comes in here. I've gone for the 4-2-3-1. I think Jordan Henderson comes in here purely because of how much game time Gini Wijnaldum's had. And look, if Gini Wijnaldum ends up starting this, that I'd agree with Klopp completely. He's been Fabinho and Gini is the best 2 in that midfield for me. But I really feel like Henderson can do that job as well. And yeah, he's just really good in that role, and maybe it will allow Fabinho to get further up and be more dangerous further up the field, because Henderson does a really good job of mopping up side to side and covering them fullbacks when the other teams are on the break, and Watford will try and do that. They obviously played against Cardiff the other day, and like two or three goals, I think, were Delafeu scored on the break, and that's a danger. We've got to be careful of that. And Jordan Henderson and Fabinho, to be fair, are perfect at mopping all that stuff up. I mean, again, the stats, we know what his stats are. We know what he's about: passing, long passing, defensive duels, and especially his interceptions, making about 4.62 per 90. So we'll move on further forward, and now we'll go to the right wing first. I think Xherdan Shaqiri comes in here. I really do. And look, he's been off the boil lately, but again, let me know what you think of this, but I really feel like he's got to come in and he's got to show us that the form that he had when he first came in, he can start replicating that again, doing it again, because I like the fact that when he sits on that right wing, he can drop in, especially in his 4-2-3-1 formation. He can kind of drop a bit deeper, spray passes to Mane. Obviously, Firmino, we don't know whether he's going to be fit. We're going to find out at the press conference tomorrow, but that ball into the centre as well, and I think Naby Keita's going to play there, but I'll move on to him. I really feel like, well, there he is. There is Naby Keita in the middle. That's the player that Shaqiri is going to play the ball into his feet, hopefully. The ball over the top to Mo Salah as well. We'll move on to him. That won't come up. But yeah, I really feel like Xherdan Shaqiri is going to step up this game. I feel like he has to. A man who needs to step up and get his first Liverpool game is obviously Naby Keita. He's been really good lately, hasn't he? He's been stepping it up. He just needs that first Liverpool goal, and it's coming. He's getting in the right areas. He's doing the right things. It is coming. You can see what a class act he is, especially with a run of games in the team. And we took him out against United. There was a lot of talk that he was the player that we needed to kind of help be that runner from midfield, and he is that guy, especially in the absence of Oxlade-Chamberlain. You could maybe argue that in the lineup, but I just don't think he has the pace anymore. Naby Keita can single-handedly take 2 or 3 men out of a game, can't he? And then that creates space for our other attackers, and then we move on forward from there. I really feel like he'll play. Next up, on the left-hand side, who else plays on the left-hand side? It's Sadio Mane. We don't have another replacement unless you're talking about maybe putting Lallana on the wing, unless you're talking about maybe putting Keita over there. But Sadio Mane, after a disappointing game against Man United, again, he's another one of them. I want him to pick up the ball deep like Shaqiri, but he's going to, instead of playing balls over the top like Shaqiri can do, like we've seen him do, I want him to just start running at people, getting to the byline, creating space in a different way by beating a man, the pace over the top. We obviously saw the diagonal balls that he allows you to do because he makes them runs. I really feel like he's going to step up. The word that I've used it quite a few times is step up, and in occasions where the rest of the team hasn't, he's been the man to do it. I think he scored like in 4 consecutive games, and we really needed him to score in them. I can't remember what they were, but I was looking at the stats the other day, and he's been fantastic for us in that when we've needed someone to take the game by the scruff of the neck, he's done it. He obviously, I think he scored the first one against United as well when we beat them 3-1. Fantastic player. And then obviously the man who has to play every single game for us, in my opinion, Mo Salah, and I think he's going to get put to the centre forward. Obviously, I've done this thinking that Bobby Firmino isn't fit. He rolled his ankle, didn't he? He left Old Trafford on crutches. Like I say, we're going to find out, but he won't have been able to train properly, I don't think, and Klopp doesn't like to play people if they've not trained, does he? And Mo Salah can do it in centre forward. We've seen him do it. He's so good at that ball over the top. And again, if Shaqiri can play that ball, if Fabinho's allowed to come a bit further forward and play that ball over the top, if Robbo and Trent can get further forward and cross that balls in along the floor and stuff, Mo Salah is the perfect, maybe not poacher, but he's always in the right position at the right time to finish them balls. And we have the players, we should have the service to get it to Mo Salah. And look, you can't argue with the stats. 17 goals, 6 assists in the Premier League. That's unreal. I think he's top scorer. I think Sergio Aguero's the same, but with 5 assists in the Premier League. So he is creating the most goals in the Premier League at the moment. He is unbelievable. And people are saying he's had a bad season. People are fuming with him after United. Maybe rightly so. He didn't have his best game, but he's still producing when we need him to. Let's have a look at the full team then. Like I say, 4-2-3-1, Alisson in goal, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Alexander-Arnold, midfield 2, Fabinho, Henderson, with Keita playing that number 10 role, Shaqiri and Mane on the wings, and then Mo Salah up top. I really believe that this team has what it takes to beat this Watford side. Obviously, last time we went out, we beat them 3-0. It was in the 4-2-3-1. We played a back line of Trent, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robbo, a midfield 2 of Wijnaldum and Jordan Henderson, and then we played the same, but with Roberto Firmino in the number 10. So it should be quite similar. I expect Watford to play the same team as they did when they faced us, with Deulofeu and Troy Deeney up top, the Corey obviously in that midfield. And we battered them, didn't we? They're a very good side as well. Watford 7th in the Premier League, but like I say, I really feel like we have what it takes in this team to beat them. But let us know your thoughts. Si's going to give me a couple now.
So we had a super chat from Ahmed, who says Shaqiri in for Bobby if he isn't fit. Last game showed Sturridge and Origi aren't cutting it at the moment. Desperately need new attack-out winger in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with we need another attacker just to be another threat when we need him off the bench. You're talking about that, and but then where would he get the game time? Someone said the other day, and it's a massively valid point. Where does he get the game time this season if you have someone alongside Daniel Sturridge in there? You're just saying to Sturridge, that's done, because Sturridge has kind of bailed us out a few times. I agree with bringing Shaqiri in. That's what I've done there. It's an interesting debate whether you put Shaqiri in the 10. I'd be interested again to know your thoughts. Do you put him in that 10? Who do you play on that wing? Do you put Salah in there, and then maybe you put Origi up top? It's a very interesting thing. I mean, I think Shaqiri's the best on the wing. I want to see Keita have an extended run in that centre, which is why I've put them there. But we have quite a few options in there. Obviously, it's annoying because the one option that we don't have a remedy for is Roberto Firmino being injured, and it happened the other day, and that is the hard part, because you're trying to. Then you have to change your whole attack, because Roberto Firmino in that number 10 role is second to none. The control that he has, the close control, and then feeding other players is just a joy to watch sometimes. Next comment.
So Supersonic 14 says, personally, if we're going to play a 4-2-3-1, I'd rather play Gini instead of Henderson. Gini and Fabinho are a solid partnership.
No, like I said before, I really feel like Gini and Fabinho are the best players to play that midfield duo, aren't they? I just don't know if Gini's going to play that many games. Should we keep him fresh for Everton? I feel like that's going to be maybe a tougher game just because of the atmosphere and all that. I think Watford are better than Everton, by the way, but I don't know. I just kind of want to get him out, to be honest with you. Again, he didn't have a very good game against United. Maybe that's a bit of fatigue setting in, but it's one of them. I think we've seen this Fabinho-Henderson partnership happen before, and it's worked. But I completely agree with you. Gini, Fabinho as a midfield duo is better, but we need to rotate. We need to keep people fresh and make sure that we don't overburden people, fatigue people, and then we're paying for it down the line.
So Johnny Walker, there was a comment before saying if you think something along the lines of if you still think we can win the league, then you're deluded. Johnny Walker said 6 home games and 5 away games to non-top 6 sides. It's all in our hands. Support the club, and I agree with that, Johnny.
Yeah, it is in our hands. I mean, we're top of the league by points. If we win every single game, we win the league. what more do you want? Like, that's what we knew at the start of the season. So, I mean, yes, City are fantastic, but we're better than them by the points on the table.
Ewan said, I don't think you'll be able to see this week, Ewan, but he said, I'd like to see Shaqiri in that number 10 with Firmino in front of him. He can't seem to get in the game from the right wing, seems best in the centre of the park.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, if Firmino's fit, then get Firmino on the pitch. If there's an inkling that he can play properly, I don't want to screw his leg up, you know what I mean, his ankle, by forcing him back really, really fast. I get what you're saying in terms of that, because Shaqiri, you've seen, I think what game was it? It might have actually been United, where he was in that centre of the park and then he scores, doesn't he? He gets 2, obviously, but it's him following up. It's him little 1-2s in and around the box, playing off Mo Salah. But if you remember, my memory's terrible, but I do remember this. There was when he's on that right-hand side and he's got Mo Salah running past him, it's them little deft touches. I can't remember what game it was, but Mo Salah scores from it, and it was just a fantastic ball. And there was the other one where Mo Salah scores again, where he feeds him with a proper lovely slide rule pass towards the byline, and Mo Salah tucks it away. And fair one. Like, it's one of them. This is hopefully going to be fluid, so we hopefully will see Shaqiri come across, and then Keita can come forward, maybe Salah comes to the wing. I think Mane's pretty much going to stay on the left-hand side, because he needs to cover for Robbo quite a bit if Robbo does what I want him to do, and that's get to the byline. Like I say, this attack's always been fluid. I mean, the one thing that lets Shaqiri down on that wing as well, and why it's another argument to get him in the 10, is he good enough defensively? Is he going to do that track and back? Maybe not. So then maybe it's a case of Fabinho's going to have to work extra hard, or Keita's going to have to fill in while Shaqiri comes across. It is a tough one, but we'll have to see. Another comment?
So I've just got one that Bailey's just showed me some stats, so just bear with me while I read this out. So the original comment that I've literally just copied says, Jason Cox, I think a lot of our issues have been due to Trent not being in the back. His creativity and speed completely changes the right side of our entire formation. When he came on as a sub, the game opened up entirely. And Bailey, as I was copying it, Bailey came over just by chance with this tweet from Simon Brundish. It says, the Trent effect, 95-point season with, 60-point season without. So if you take the amount of points we've got per game with Trent in the side and without, then we're on for a 95-point season for the games with Trent in the side and 60 without. I think that just shows just how important he is to the side, and how important it is that we get him back in.
Definitely. I mean, you can put in James Milner in there, who was a fantastic left winger for us, is a very solid right back choice, but he's not Trent Alexander-Arnold, is he? He's not the player who... The thing that I love about Trent Alexander-Arnold is when he's on his best form, he comes to about halfway down here and blasts it straight into the attacker's feet. And then we can play off that, then we can start moving from that, and it's such an underrated thing. Robbo doesn't really even do it. Robbo does it differently. He goes to the byline. Trent can do that as well, obviously, but he's so good at playing balls into the attack from this position, and when that means that defenders are having to run back with play as well. So when Robertson gets to here and he plays it, the defenders are set. They're ready to go and ready to clear it. When a ball comes in from here and they've got Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Naby Keita running at them, they're running back. It's an awkward thing to do, and it can't be understated just how good of a skill it is to have a real playmaker in and around there, not to mention his free kicks. We obviously saw that one with Virgil van Dijk gets it at the back, and then I think Bobby Firmino scores that. He is fantastic. I think he got left out the other day. Well, I don't even know why he got left out the other day. There's a reason for it. I'd assume that he comes back now because he got rested there. He'll play, hopefully, Watford and Everton, and it'll spare us on for the rest of the season. We've got a few winnable games. I don't want to say it. I've got to caveat it just so I don't look stupid, because I don't want to do that, but I trust in this Liverpool side to win all these games that they need to. But I mean, that's stats amazing.
I think I'll just come on. The last thing, we just got a super chat about Trent, so I'll read this and then we'll probably finish the Trent stuff. Aiden 1892, thanks very much, says Trent needs to start every game for me. Massively missed his crossing against Man United. And Salah is a better player with him on the pitch. This is a must-win game. Yeah, I agree with that either.
Liverpool's expected goals within the team is double.
Liverpool's expected goals with him in the team is double, says Bailey. Again, tells you everything you need to know. Just to have two functioning wings. Like say, Milner can do the job, but it's not the same. Milner gets there. He did it for City. He was fantastic at doing that for City, but he's getting on. Trent is a young lad at 19, I think 19, 20, and he's just brilliant.
We'll probably have, this is the last comment. So non-event horizon says, Tom, you legend, what happened to your Salah hair?
Yeah, so what's going to happen is this video is going to be on the YouTube channel, and then you're going to watch the Uncensored Match build-up later, and it'll magically regrown. Yeah, we may have filmed that earlier on in the day, and then I got a haircut. Purely because it's getting warm now in Liverpool. Still need to do the beard. Bailey's saying don't do the beard. Let me know in the comments, should I shave the beard or not. But yeah, I was modelling me hair off Salah for a bit, just because, why not? Everyone likes him in Liverpool. No, I wasn't. I've just got hair like that. Don't get perms, you know what I mean? Have you got one more? I'm putting Si on the spot here.
So Christopher Davis says Salah playing central isn't half the player than when he is coming off the right. He shouldn't be scared of dropping him rather than playing out of position. Okay,
that's fair. But then if you drop him, then who comes in as centre forward? Again, I'd be interested to know. I feel like we've seen him play there really well. I agree with what you're saying, by the way. When he's on that right-hand side, he causes so many more problems. When he's getting to pick up speed, he's not having to play with it back to goal. He's running at people. He scares the living daylights out of everyone. I think it was Porto and Roma as well, where he just takes the game by the scruff of the neck and just goes, yeah, I'm going to start scoring. It was Maribor last season. It was that free-flowing attack. I mean, in the absence of Roberto Firmino, I think it has to be this. If Roberto Firmino's in here, though, I think Fabinho, Henderson, Keita, Shaqiri comes out the side and Roberto Firmino comes in and we play a 4-3-3. But, I mean, I've just thought of that. I didn't say that on the Unboo before, but I've just thought of that. I really would like to see that. Like I say, there's quite a few options in there, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the press conference is tomorrow. I can't wait to see what Jurgen Klopp has to say about the injury to Roberto Firmino, whether Trent will play. I'm sure we'll find out loads more about that, and it'll render everything I've said on this video completely false. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Like I say, go and check out the Uncensored Match build-up, which is going to be out at about 7 o'clock, I think. So you can see my magical regrowth of hair. But no, Leanne Prescott's on it. She's always fantastic. She was also on the Around the League with Ben and Ross, who were also on the Uncensored Match build-up. We had everyone on the same stuff today. Yeah, like I say, if you still want to read or listen to stuff about the United game, we've got you covered there. It was a cathartic experience straight after the game. We did the Man of the Match show talking about who we thought was our Man of the Match. We'll be back after this Watford game on Thursday with everything. Every single little thing that you need to know about Liverpool will be there. Obviously, Reds News Roundup's going to be out on Wednesday, talking about all the news and stuff. Around the League's out now on the website if you want to go watch that, talking about the Sarri and Kepa stuff, which is hilarious. But yeah, thank you everyone. Like I say, leave me your thoughts on this team. Leave me your team in the comments below. Don't forget to give it a like, give it a subscribe if you want to see more Liverpool content. And yeah, we'll see you after the Watford game on Thursday.